also affects the geographical aspect. So we are also having become, within the 6 years, one family across the domains. That's also quite an effort. So because we combining mostly ICT and OT stakeholders who actually come from different angles and different vocabularies. So, and this requires some kind of openness. Colin was just saying open, to be open. And it's something which comes in 5G ACIA by design. So because everybody has to be open to listen to each other's requirements, and so that's key. So, and that's quite an effort. So you cannot underestimate what it takes to have this kind of interdisciplinary diversity of different partners. So especially interdisciplinarity is is something which is a daily effort, I would say. Vocabulary is just one thing, but also the working procedures. So the people from the manufacturing industry, they have, I would say, completely different working procedures when it comes to aligning requirements, aligning content. That's also something which we had to learn. And there was I mentioned KPI, KVI today. So that's just one example. I'm actually coming from a production background. So, and if I talk about KPIs, then I say overall equipment efficiency, the fault rate, these kind of things, good parts, no good parts, these are KPIs for me. But I had to learn that KPIs from the telco background is actually latency, jitter, and these kind of things. Now we are jointly calling the ones that I said were KPIs, they are now called KVIs. That's just illustrating a little bit the difficulties of the different understandings of the vocabularies. But I mean, we are managing this and getting progress, and so it's, I would say we are managing good, and now we are ready to go for 6G.
Yeah, I think it's very encouraging to hear what you say, and to bridge these cultures is truly important, and to do it early, of course. So what you do here, being in from the start, shaping the ground, so to say, is I think a great asset to us all. It will make 6G considerably more competitive. So do we have any other question from the audience? Yeah, please.
It was a very exciting discussion. I am S.K. Mishra. I am the chair for ITU Focus Group on Costing Data. So they have set up a focus group for developing cost models for affordable data services. Now we are talking of FG, say 6G and 5G, and a lot of alliances are forging, say, cooperation. So I have an open question: how do you make make effort, other than, of course, the usual suggestions that spectrum prices should be reduced, licensing fees should be reduced? What is that we are looking to make 6G data prices or data services affordable? What are the steps we should take? Maybe in the design itself we see, or maybe we collaborate in such a manner where we build up upon each other's strength. So what are the things you are doing? I wanted to know that. And maybe I'll interact in future also with you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess your question was regarding affordable data prices for 6G system, right? I believe somebody actually quoted the data cost in India, and, you know, it's possibly the lowest or one of the lowest, right? I mean, we're already doing quite good compared to the rest of the world in India. I mean, with regards to 6G, I believe this inclusivity and, I mean, ubiquitous connectivity certainly is on top of the mind for, you know, many regional organizations and many of the presentations we have seen, right? But of course, NTN alone isn't the answer. In Nextia Alliance, our view is that, you know, it needs to start from ground up. From the design of the physical layer to the upper layer and the architecture, right? One way to achieve it would be simplicity and also to reduce legacy baggage, right? I mean, we have to think various aspects to actually bring simplicity to make the network affordable, then the TCO can reduce and the CapEx can also reduce, and then the operators can offer it to consumers at an affordable cost.
Yeah, I mean, certainly it's one of the key things we're looking at in 6G. I mean, there's any number of research projects going on in Europe and other places in the world looking at various technical solutions, trying to improve things. But it's not just a technology question. And I do feel that going forward, we also need to look at the regulatory side of things. If you're asking an operator to pay 6 billion euros for his spectrum, that's 6 billion euros he has to get from somewhere. And finally, it has to come from the user. So we need to look at the whole ecosystem, not just to the technology. Yes, the technologies we can do a lot. We're trying to, we're striving to, we will succeed. We will make things more efficient and therefore cheaper and easier to manage. But in the same time, we also need to look at the regulatory environment and make sure that it's economically viable to deploy. And there we can do a lot with regulation.
It's just, if I may, one other point, the role of government. When we look at the availability of access to digital technologies as a human right coming from the United Nations, and to the extent that the impact of new technology, new regulatory powers and so on is impacting on the business models of the telcos, the companies who are going to provide these services, there is that third party, the government, who represents the citizens to make sure that the digital divide is reduced and eroded completely. So it's just that idea that telecoms, the access to the digital world should be perceived as a digital right, a human right, and therefore government does have a role to play in incentivizing or de-risking investment from the companies themselves.
Yes, please, yeah.
Okay. Of course, we
Short
as
comment, yeah.
industry organization, we are focusing mostly on private 5G, so private networks, but it seems like public 6G will only be a success if public 5G is a success, and it seems like right now monetization of 5G is also a problem for the telcos, and with respect to the industrial applications, this is actually the same, but with a different impact. So we see that industrial 5G has a low market